Thank you.
Next up, we have Ron Mitchell, Managing Director of Global Lithium Resources. Ron has over 25 years' experience in senior commercial, strategy, sales, and business development roles, including more than 10 years in the lithium and battery metals industry, with senior roles at Tianqi Lithium and Talison Lithium. He's also the inaugural chairman of the London Metals Exchange Lithium Committee, a role he has held for more than 2 years. At Global Lithium, Ron oversees marketing development, strategic partnership negotiation, and business growth opportunities. Over to you.
Great, thank you all for attending, and great to be back in Kalgoorlie, home of one of our premier lithium projects, which I'll talk a lot about today. A project with recent results, which we're extremely confident we're going to be able to develop this project into a mine in the coming years. So before I get started, I just want to share some thoughts on the lithium sector. I've been in this industry more than 11 years, both on the upstream and downstream side, and I've been through countless waves of price cycles within the sector, but what I can share with you today is that I have never observed such strong demand fundamentals in this industry, and particularly for this metal. This is a metal that has no peer as it relates to substitutes, and as Elon Musk once famously said, anything that can move can be powered with a rechargeable battery. And as I mentioned, that substitutability is absolutely key. Lithium is going to have limitless opportunities in this next century. So, great pleasure to be talking about our company, Global Lithium. We have 2 assets, which gives us fantastic optionality going forward. We've got a really strong board and management that is heavily focused on developing these projects. We've got some fantastic partners, strategic partners, which I'll talk about. And of course, the assets themselves are absolute rippers. So before I get started, just acknowledgement of country. I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land in which 2 of our projects are located, up in Marble Bar and here in Kalgoorlie, and pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. So what makes us different? Well, I talked about that multi-asset focus. We've got 2 projects which does give us this fantastic optionality. We're developing these projects through advanced exploration campaigns. They're highly prospective. These are both outcropping spodumene-bearing pegmatites. We've got a combined equity maiden inferred mineral resource of close to 20 million tonnes at 1.04%. So that for us is just the start. The second key point is they're JORC compliant. 2 of only 13 JORC compliant resources in Australia, and that's phenomenal. And that is one of the interests, the focus on our company and hard rock lithium in particular is absolutely elevated at the moment. I've never seen interest in this sector like I'm seeing it at the moment. The third is we've got a really strong team with lithium experience, real lithium experience in terms of deal making, offtakes, and project execution, and understanding the risks associated with all of those. We've got some fantastic strategic partners which de-risk our projects ultimately. Mineral Resources is one of those, a fantastic company that needs no introduction. And certainly their capability to assist us on the upstream side of our business is a great benefit that we'll be able to leverage. And on the downstream side, we've got one of the most prestigious lithium hydroxide producers in China on our register as well, Suzhou TANA, which is a controlling shareholder of Yibin Tianli, one of the largest hydroxide producers, as I mentioned. That strategic partnerships piece is really, really important for us going forward, and we've really had a focus on carefully selecting the strategics that are on our register. Tier 1 jurisdiction. I mean, this is absolutely a key. There are a lot of resources out there, very few that are actually coming to market. Western Australia is a brand internationally. I'll use the comment that Western Australian iron ore helped build the new world, and Western Australian lithium is going to help power the new world. And this brand we have internationally from Western Australian Resources can't be overstated. The focus from the Japanese, the Koreans, the Europeans, the North Americans now, there's a general recognition that West Australians know how to deliver resources to market, and speed is of the absolute essence at the moment. And we've got a team, a really experienced team that has decades and decades of experience in terms of bringing new projects to market. I'd like to talk a little bit about the team now. Warwick Hazeltine, our non-exec chairs in the room today, the auditorium. 20 years capital markets experience and one of the founders of the Canning's Purple company, and a lot of experience in lithium as well. Helped bring a lot of projects into development here in Western Australia and also Northern Territory. I've been in the sector, as I said, 11 years, working with the LME as the inaugural chair. Greg Lilliman, another gentleman who needs no introduction, and Greg, you know, as a non-exec director, he's providing just such a fantastic sounding board, both technical and commercial for myself, and his experience in the Pilbara, his access to contractors, networks, and of course the traditional owners is best in class. Dr. Diamin Chair, he's our gateway into China. It's an important gateway for us, but of course we are a global company and will be a global company as far as our offtake goes going forward. Hayley Lawrence, a non-exec director, a significant commercial lawyer, is assisting us and leading our ESG committee. She's the chair at the board of our ESG committee and bringing a wealth of legal experience to our operations. Kevin Hart, CFO, COSEC, more than 30 years experience working with ASX companies. And our geos, these are the guys that are doing it on the ground. We've got a really significant geological team with experience with lithium. Stuart Peterson, our General Manager for Exploration. We also have an Exploration Manager, Brian Burke, who worked on Pilgangoora from Greenfield through to production. Stuart has specific experience at Mount Marion. So we've got a geo team that knows lithium, knows spodumene, knows how to bring these projects into economic resource. And we're also working in our community relations piece with a recent hire of Nicole Stone. So a little overview of the company. We're the best performing IPO on the ASX last year. I thought I'd slip that in. We've got a pretty tight register, only 200 million shares on issue, market cap of close to 300 million. And the register's pretty tight, as I mentioned. A couple of strategics, Uzo TNA, 9.9% stake, MinRes at 5%, board and management about 5%. So the board and management has significant skin in the game. A couple of high net worths, and the balance is retail and instos. And you can see there that our share price has performed on the back of real palpable news flow throughout the course of the last 12 months. Let's talk a little bit about Western Australia again. And, you know, this is a jurisdiction, as I said, that's supplying more than 50% of the world's lithium currently. I anticipate through my own S&D model that by the end of next year, that'll probably move up to 60%. And this is really compelling. As I mentioned, it's the most recognised, well-branded lithium jurisdiction in the world. Geologically and politically stable, that, again, really important metric. Fantastic infrastructure, world-class. Proximity to the key markets is really important. And, you know, we've got this access to this phenomenal skill set of technical and commercial expertise that is irreplaceable. There is no other jurisdiction on the planet that has the capability we have. And this is something I think that we should be very proud of and should be promoting as an industry globally. And why spodumene? There's lots of different forms of lithium. What makes spodumene special? Speed to market. I touched on it earlier. WA again with a history of delivering projects. We've got 5 current projects, mines, processing, beneficiation plants under operation. First tonnes to market is key. So post FID, we can have tonnes in market within 2 to 3 years. Now if you compare that to the brines of South America, you're looking at a development timeline of up to 7 or 8 years. It's too long. The world needs more lithium. The only way to get more lithium is through hard rock. And the quality as well. This isn't anecdotal. Again, I've been in this market a long time. I've travelled China more than 50 times. I've met all the converters in China. There is a preference within the global EV value chain to use lithium chemicals, lithium carbonate, lithium hydroxide, sourced and manufactured from spodumene. It produces a greater quality and a more consistent grade. And I think finally the global EV value chain is waking up to this fact. And we're seeing some phenomenal interest. As we've seen from our peers here in Western Australia, some of the deals they've done recently, and just looking at my own calendar for the next several months, the interest is quite phenomenal. Talk about our partnerships, MinRes again, with a 5% stake. You only have to look at this map to see some of the synergies in terms of the proximity of the Wodgina project and our Marble Bar Lithium project, and similarly the Mount Marion resource to the south of Kalgoorlie, and our Manna resource out to the east. And MinRes as a company has this unrivaled track record of really bringing projects into production quickly, and they can do everything on the upstream side for us. So they're going to be a fantastic partner we'll be able to leverage from. Our other strategic, Suzhou TANA, this is the only offtake we've signed. It is a 10-year strategic offtake for 30% of our production, importantly at market prices. I've been doing offtakes in lithium for 10 years, and there are very few deals on the table that point direct to a market price from day one in a long-term agreement. They're typically structured around fixed prices for the first 2 years, and then they flip to a basket of market. We've got market prices from day one, and this market is going to remain tight for the foreseeable future. So this is a great outcome for the company. Importantly, 70% of our future potential production remains uncontracted, and this is a weapon for us. Suzhou TA, as I mentioned, part of the CATL group, the other shareholder of Yibin Tianli, and some of their clients, of course, include Tesla. So let's talk a bit of a deep dive into a couple of our projects. Firstly, Manna. And I'm a fisherman, so I love the name of this project, and I love eating crabs. So Manna, a few things I'll unpack here. Firstly, the geology. It's an outcropping spodumene-bearing pegmatite. As I mentioned, there's lots of pegmatites globally, very few that are outcropping, very few that are spodumene-bearing. We've got some really good width on the intercepts and some fantastic grades coming through. The deposit itself has a maiden inferred mineral resource position of 9.9 million tonnes, and that was delivered on the back of less than 4,000 metres of RC drilling. We've got a great joint venture partner in Breaker Resources. We're working closely with the team at Breaker. And the upside for us is really coming in the back of this significant RC drilling campaign, which is currently underway, 20,000 metre campaign. And we're following that up with a 4,000 metre diamond drill campaign as well. And we're getting some really fantastic results, which I'll share with you shortly. And again, the infrastructure piece can't be overstated. Fantastic infrastructure. The Port of Esperance to the south. We can leverage this city, this great city, in terms of resourcing and inventory and spare parts and so forth. And we are in a tier 1 mining jurisdiction here in Kalgoorlie. So not just within Western Australia. Within Western Australia, we have 2 assets in arguably the 2 best mining jurisdictions on the planet, being the Pilbara and the Eastern Goldfields. So Manna, these are some of the results I'm really pleased to share. We released these last week. We're finding that this resource is opening up at depth. Not only is it opening up, the grades are increasing. So we're getting some fantastic grades coming through, 17 metres at 1.5% lithium oxide. The strike is over 1,000 metres. This resource will be developed, and our results in the coming months are going to be compelling. We are going to be bringing a significant resource upgrade to market in Q4, and I'll be very pleased to share with you updated results as they come to market in the coming weeks and months. But the resource remains open at depth and at strike in both directions. So our geos, in particular Stuart's, incredibly excited about this project. So the drilling, as I said, the RC drilling commenced in May, diamond drilling commenced in June, really to confirm scale, down dip, and the resource expansion drilling is ongoing along strike and also down dip. So again, there's a lot of work. We've got two crews out there, really experienced drilling crews, Profile Drilling and Mount Magnet doing the diamond drill. And as I mentioned, that resource expansion will be released later this year. Importantly, in all the drilling we've done, by the end of this year, we would have completed close to 100,000 metres of drilling. And so far, so good, 0 LTIs, a real sharp focus on safety, and our team is heavily incentivised around safety and performance. Let's touch on Marble Bar. Again, being multi-asset, 2 projects gives us fantastic leverage. And as Dave Reeves commented earlier, having dual assets gives you a fantastic exposure. And this has been recognised as well by our shareholders. So again, very similar, highly prospective geological setting. Again, it's an outcropping spodumene-bearing pegmatite. This one is hosted in greenstone and granite. You can see there the synergies, very similar geological setting in relation to the Pilgangoora and Wodgina deposits out to the west of us. We aggressively acquired a number of tenements last year prior to the lithium price really running hard, because we knew we were on something quite special here at Marble Bar as well. So you can see our tenement package off to the right. We've got a sealed road running through our tenement, which is rare. There's only one other lithium project I'm aware of that has a sealed road running to it, and that's Greenbushes. So this is fantastic. Important for our drillers. Come home to Marble Bar. We're only 15 kilometres north of Marble Bar. Come back to, I'd like to say, a warm bed, but generally Marble Bar is quite warm, so a nice cool bed, at least get a warm meal. And we're only 160 odd kilometres south of Port Hedland, so a world-class infrastructure in terms of export. The upside again will come on the back of our inferred mineral resource of 10.5 million tonnes at 1%. We've got a 60,000 metre RC campaign, which is 66% complete. And again, results are coming to market periodically. The strike's a significant one. We've identified lithium mineralisation over 15 kilometres of strike. And the infrastructure, again, can't be... this is world-class infrastructure. And I'll touch a little bit on what makes it important. And this is something I think finally has been recognised by the EV value chain. A lot of good projects out there on paper, but without the infrastructure piece, they will not be delivered, or they will take significant time to be delivered. And again, flagship, 5 hard rock lithium projects currently in production, and we're hoping to have the next couple. So again, some assays in terms of our Marble Bar. We've recently released the highest grade lithium assays to date. We're getting some really good extensions, plus 10 metre extensions at 1.4% lithium. And what's important here is the ongoing drilling is going to target lithium mineral pegmatites to the southeast of the existing Archer deposit. And this is really exciting. Again, they're open at strike and down dip. And we did release a press announcement on Monday with regards to an operational update, but we have discovered a new lithium pegmatite zone to the southeast. And here it is here. This is called the Lantern Prospect we've defined. So this extends about 500 metres south of the last known resource. And again, our diamond drilling is going to focus on this particular resource in Q4 this year. And the metallurgical test work on this particular material is quite advanced, and we'll be bringing that to market shortly. So finishing up, building momentum. Again, 2 projects gives us great optionality. Significantly advanced exploration campaigns, as I said, close to 80,000 metres of RC, probably close to 8,000 metres of diamond on the back of this. Running these hard in parallel, really important. So we should wrap up both of the RC campaigns at the end of this quarter. Diamond drilling extend into Q4, and that'll really set us up for quite a significant resource upgrade and expansion in Q4. Certainly by the end of this year, we'll have quite a significant announcement to bring to market. Of course, the assays and met testing run in parallel. We have just hired Strategen to assist us with our environmental approval strategy. Heritage studies are ongoing, working closely with the TOs. And we are recruiting a development team. We're ahead of the curve here. We're not waiting for milestone stage gates to complete before moving. We're confident we're going to have a great project, and therefore we're moving in terms of compiling a best-in-class development team. So finishing off, why take a position in us? There's probably 8 reasons. One is we are located in the world's most attractive mining jurisdiction, being Western Australia. I think the Fraser Institute recently voted WA number 1. Number 1 on the planet. That's something to be really proud of. We've got 2 projects. A fantastic starting position in terms of maiden inferred mineral resource, close to 20 million tonnes. And again, just the start, great growth potential. A really aggressive exploration campaign. I often get asked the question, geez, you guys are running 80,000 metres? Yes, we're going hard. We've got a fantastic team of geos in-house, 4 on the books, project geologists, exploration managers, and of course outsourcing a best-in-class profile in Orlando and Mount Magnet drillers. Access to world-class infrastructure, again, really, really important. A strong team driven by ESG fundamentals. We are going to be delivering a significant ESG strategy to market, a fit-for-purpose strategy to market in the coming months, and I'm part of the the ESG committee at the board level, working with Hayley Lawrence. So we are expecting a really strong pipeline of news over the next sort of 12 to 18 months. And on the back of that, we are primed to become a significant global lithium company. So with that, I will conclude. I think we're probably a few stomachs starting to rumble in the audience, so thanks for your attention.
Thanks, Ron. We're up against the time there, so we'll move on to our next presentation.